Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of our Langrisser mobile series. And we have many new characters to look at, and this actually makes me very happy because on the case of Sumire I barely read anything. I know Sakura a little bit more, but I have no idea about Angelica. And so in order to share with everyone as well, I'm gonna explore Angelica without looking at any guide, without reading anything from what people may have made, and just deciding like any one of us would do when looking into character. So first things first, she is this magical engineer person that is helping us sometimes by creating mechanized units, and also we have to escort her like in one map event, one joint battle, and every now and then in the story, and we usually want her to die, but when she dies, so Angelica is this extremely annoying character now turned into a playable character, which is usually a very interesting thing. So we will see what we can obtain out of her. First things first, you always get Angelica if you reach chapter 45, if you complete it, and there is actually no other way to get Angelica at all. You can get Gate of Fate shards from her, of course, but she's not available from the banners, and also she's never gonna go away, right? Because once you play the story, you get her for sure. So, first things first, she is part of the Legion of Glory. This makes perfect sense, as she's one of the good characters. It's a little bit weird that she's not there's no Swordsmith Legion. It will be protagonist, and she's not really. That's fair. But what's interesting is she's actually a Heroes of Time hero, which means she is able to, as we see here, participate in the faction buff of Joshua or apply faction buff to everyone else that is a collab character. This makes her very, very interesting, especially for those that did not obtain Joshua on the way. I guess this is why actually they added her. They noticed that if someone missed Joshua, those 9 other characters would never get a faction buff. So it's pretty. However, this is an SR character, which means her faction buff is probably not gonna do anything special. I actually have no idea. But way before we get into that, I believe she is as a mage, and we'll see what her upgrade path is. Talent, Analysis and Infiltration, that's pretty cool. Before battle, your soldier class type becomes the same as the enemy's soldier class type. After taking action, restores 50% HP to your soldiers. That is pretty crazy. That pretty crazy indeed. Depending on which type of soldiers she has, 50% also, it probably will increase to like 100%. Trading soldiers for enemy soldiers and then healing them back to full or however much restores would be very interesting. It also makes it so that, for example, or basically none of your soldiers would ever be in a disadvantage, right? So you attack, let's say, Lancer into Swordsman, your Lancers will count as swords, but that's probably very bad damage, so you are more likely to do something different, which is, let's say, if she had horses, it's probably gonna have casters. If she had horses, you could attack into Lances and deal max damage, and not get destroyed in return. I think that's really, really interesting. Okay. What is this weird skill? Ready to go. Summon. Activate to wipe out all target soldiers and summon an engine number 1, engine I guess, with the same stats as the soldiers. Okay, I guess you get to separate the soldiers from a troop, which is already fun in itself because it can enable certain things. For example, Serida's Bloodthirster, so she gets directly enabled. She could also enable Sumire's talent, which actually increases her power the lower she is. And she could also enable everyone else who kinda doesn't care about the troops or wants them to be low so that they can do something else. Or maybe they want their HP to be low. For example, let's say we are absolutely insane. We could do this to Leonhardt, activate both of his carbon fiber armor sets, to have them equipped, and then teleport him somewhere safe, however, that he still can attack from. So at that point you will be able to use the full power of a double carbon fiber armor Leonhardt and just destroy your opponent. Of course he would die anyway later, but Don't care because you probably dealt all the damage you want. Alright, class. Ah, wow, we even get to click it from here. Thunder Missile. Cooldown 3 runs, range 6 blocks, span straight. Okay, it's a line. Attacks all enemies within one straight line, dealing 0.33 AoE damage. Extra effective against cavalry. Also calls. Okay, so this is basically a thunderstorm in line form. Fair enough. Soldiers. We already see good entries. Mist Dancers, very good entries. Lava Titans, however, this totally looks like a Ballista is level 2. That is not. What else do they have available? I think then in that case Lava Titans probably she only gets wizards. That's pretty bad for her. I guess Mist Dancers if you ever intend to go in the direction of damage in some form, but I already see that she doesn't get here. Okay. Upgrade class. The interest. Right, she falls back into the. So this is unlike any trials heroes that they only have 2 paths. She falls back into the triple path plus 1 extra here. Let's see what she can do. Mass attack. That's already very interesting. Mass attack. Hello, Dennis. How are you doing? Mass attack is one of the very few extremely useful AoE casted spells. Mass attack, not only does it provide a similar attack amount compared to faction buff, it also grants immunity to silence. So could prevent, for example, from an entire bozzle of ever triggering silence on you, and that's pretty good. On the sniper path, she gets attack break, which I have no idea why she would ever go for, but it. So I guess this is not the way to pick her up. Finally, Windblade on the Inventor. This is just one single target attack. We are gonna look at the cool Ice Missile. Ice Missile has a range of 6 and decreases mobility by 1. So basically this is Blizzard in a stick. Also deals extra damage to land. So yeah, basically it is indeed that. And then Lifesaver. Fusion Power. Activate skill. Attack and defense increase significantly for all heroes of time allies within range. Last 4 turns. Yeah, exactly. No stats. He is as basic as it gets in terms of SR. But it's extremely useful if you did not get Joshua and you provide faction buff for all of you. Or if you want to be tricky and pick her together with like a Serida or Sumire as we talked about. She can also provide perfect support to Sumire by casting the... Is she a temporary hero? No, you obtain her whenever you finish chapter 45. This will never go away, so she will always be available for everyone. So, if you have a Sumire that you want to bring to 6 stars because you love her, Angelica alone can provide double support. She can do faction buff for at least the buffs, get the bonuses, and also she can cut her head and create the tiny robot ready to go. Anjin number 1. Okay. So if we were to equip Angelica, what would we do? I feel like I would use Clock, and then what is this, a 1-pointer? I feel like I would use Clock if I didn't need her faction buff, and if I needed her faction buff, then who? But that's a good question. Then I guess Breeze. Breeze would always make sense. I would use Clock if you were able to use both of the AoE. Right, so Thunder Missile and Ice Missile, they've had low cooldowns, right? 3 turns. And if you can start shooting them back to back, it's still damage, right? It deals the same damage as the AoE itself. So it could be cool. What is important is that she is yet another Legion of Glory caster. So if you also see that you need someone because you don't have Hein, that skill looks so weird, yeah? So if you don't have Hein and you don't have Chris, I guess this is the third option. She comes for free. So she's an option indeed. And in general, other than Rene, there was no other caster in the Heroes of Time faction. Okay. Regarding equipment, I guess in that case I would go for miracle stuff. Yeah, we have one. Miracle stuff, not even fit. So I will go for a miracle stuff, and I will probably equip standard items like this. Galaxy Cloak, Geniosity one. Wow, we have a Charon. I guess she could Charon or whatever. And in here, I don't know, Silence Privilege. I don't think the equipment in Angelica would make a lot of difference. I think she's not there in the battlefield to deal the damage, especially with only A intelligence. Means that increase is not gonna be crazy. We didn't check one thing, which is the masteries. Bishop, yeah, Bishop does not even add intelligence, and Sniper obviously does not add even add back. That's garbage. So actually, none. Okay, Mage. The base class is the only one that adds intelligence. I don't see her hitting hard anytime soon. Okay. That being said, we did this, that means Angelica is a somewhat gimmicky hero who is there to fulfill the role of a faction buffer in case you didn't. Don't know what you would ever go for her Archon 1. Only reason I would look for is you somehow have a staff that you want to make use of, and you equip ballistas so that you have a staff effect from 3 range away. Literally only way I could explain why. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing I would recommend. Okay, I believe that is it for Angelica. And as we have 2 more characters to go, I would like to cut this video right here, and I will